Please introduce yourself and tell us which race you're running for.
Hello, I'm Jo Rae Perkins, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate to unseat Jeff Merkley.
So, can you tell us what you do professionally and whether you have any political or public service background?
I am in the essential needs industry. Um, I'll let people figure out what that is. Political background, I was the 2020 and 2022 U.S. Senator nominee for the on the Republican ticket in 2020 against Jeff Merkley. I received more votes than any U.S. Senator Republican nominee in Oregon history, which was pretty awesome. And then in 2022, midterms, not as many people voting, unfortunately, closed the gap, so had a higher percentage than I did in 2020. Politically, and I've run for a congressional seat in the past. Politically, I've been involved with the Oregon Republican Party since 2008. I became the vice chair in the November 2008, and then suddenly became the chair of January of 2009. I was the Oregon Republican Party secretary for 2 years. And there's a lot more, but that's good for now.
Can you tell me more about your biography outside of politics?
So, George and I met in March of 1973. We have been married since 1978. We're coming up on our 48th wedding anniversary, March 18th. We have two children. Well, they're adults. Um, Stephen is married to Lisa, and combined, they have 9 children. And then our daughter Lisa is engaged to Ben, and including his children, there are 6 more kids. So we've lived in Albany since 1975. George is a carpet installation contractor. My background also includes health insurance. So in October, I sat for and passed the health insurance exam, and I helped people with their Medicare policies. I've had life insurance, health insurance in the past. I've sold investments. I've had 6 different investment licenses. I've also sold property and casualty, auto and homeowners insurance. I've been in banking and real estate. The list goes on.
Can you tell me more about your community of Albany?
Albany is, I like Albany. Uh, Politically, unfortunately, our city council are all Democrats, along with the mayor. Albany, when we moved here, obviously was a lot smaller. It was roughly 30,000 people, and now we're around 56,000 people. We have a hot air balloon event, the Northwest Art and Air Festival. And up until COVID, it was the longest, I think it was one of the longest running hot air balloon events in the West. And I actually was the volunteer crew coordinator for that event for 26 years, starting with the Legacy event. We have concerts in the park every summer, and yeah, it's a nice community to live in. We are a little over an hour to the coast, a little over an hour to the mountains, a little over an hour to Portland, 45 minutes to Eugene. So we're nicely situated in the Willamette Valley.
As you talk to Oregonians, what are you hearing them say they want to be the focus of the next U.S. Senator from Oregon?
That's a great question, Alex. I actually did a online poll on Facebook a couple months ago. We had, I think, 38 unique people respond with 98 different responses. Um, it was across the board. Sanctuary status is was mentioned numerous times. They don't like the fact that Oregon is a sanctuary state, and they want to see that changed, and they'd like to know how that could be changed from the federal level. On my website, joraeperkins.com, people can click on this state sovereignty link, and there I have a 9-page white paper plus all the hot links to all the background information. It starts off talking about how we became a sanctuary state, what started it all, and finishes up with how do we fix it, including a proposed bill. Now, if that is not taken care of by the time I make it to Washington, D.C., that's the bill that I will propose. So that is number one. Veterans is always on the list, solving the veterans issue. And I'm working on how do I want to say this? Well, clearly we need to house our veterans, but or in the Willamette Valley, we have about 50,000 veterans and 300,000 in the state. Clearly, they're not all homeless, but we have too many that are homeless. And there's a lot of ideas of how to work with that. And so that's an area that I will be delving more into. Insurance, Medicare, and health insurance is also an issue, which I also have bills written on my website for those two issues. And finally, term limits. I'm a term limits proponent. I have been since I started in the political arena. I think 12 years in Congress is more than enough. That would be 2 terms of the US Senate or 6 terms of the House of Representatives or a combination thereof. And then they can go home. Our founders did not envision and did not believe in career politicians. Their view was serve your country for a season, and when you're done, then go back to your community. And if you want to be involved in the service level as a politician, do it locally.
Who is your favorite Oregon historical figure?
I honestly I don't have a favorite Oregon historical figure. I
Oh,
wasn't raised and born here, so I honestly I've never even thought about it. So I don't have one.
what are the primary sources of your personal values?
My faith in Jesus as my Lord and Savior. Um, so yeah, I that's where my values come from is um, just being who God called me to be and be honest with people, treat people kindly, be respectful, but don't be afraid to tell the truth. And yeah, be there, be an ear for people if they need one, be a friend. So, and do my best to stay positive.
Alrighty, now it's time for my world famous lightning round. First up, ducks or beavers?
Both.
All right. What is your favorite West Side Oregon landmark?
My favorite West Side Oregon landmark, there's too many. God, Oregon is gorgeous. We've got the coast, and I love all the rocks along, the coast. Hat Rock, it's in Hat Rock. Um, sorry, too many pictures going through my brain. The mountains, I love Oregon. So, obviously, Multnomah Falls is gorgeous. Crater Lake is amazing. The Painted Mountains, Painted Hills are beautiful. Wallowa Lake is just incredible. So, I can't narrow it down.
All right. What is your favorite Oregon produced beverage?
Water.
All right. What is your favorite Oregon produced food?
Um, I don't have one.
All right. What is your favorite restaurant in Oregon?
Um, Los Dos Amigos in Albany.
How can voters connect with you and learn more about your campaign?
They can go to my website, Jo Rae, JoRae, Perkins.com. And there's a bio there about me, the issues that we're focusing on, which on the website is under platform. And then if they want to donate, there's always a donate link on every page. And people can also send an email directly from the page and volunteer.
Alrighty. Do you have any final thoughts for our audience?
I do. For several years now, uh, mostly in the Republican Party, we've been talking about the concerns with our election system. We recognize that there are questions and there are those questions, some of them we cannot prove whether they are true or not true. But what has happened inadvertently is there's more and more people that are going, why should I vote if my vote isn't going to be counted? If you don't vote, your vote absolutely will not be counted. And if ever there was a year to take back our state and get rid of this government that is all about tax, tax, and tax, and take more and more and more of your hard earned money, this is the year to do it. We know that Oregonians across the board, whether they're Republicans, Democrats, independents, unaffiliated, we know that you are fed up with what is going on. Well, we also have two United States senators that they just don't do a whole lot to help Oregon. I actually went online and asked Brock, what has Jeff Merkley done since he's been in the US Senate? He's in his 18th year. And the answer was, there is maybe one bill, the other one he helped on. Both of these men did not sit in on the State of the Union speech that President Trump just did on February 20th to 24th. That is disrespectful to the office of the presidency. And then Jeff Merkley decided that he was going to have a gathering along with other people outside in the National Mall while President Trump had the State of the Union. The guy does not think very clearly. It was 35 degrees outside. There was a handful of people at that event. And all he did was blame President Trump and accuse him of things that weren't true. I have here a booklet. Let's see if it's going to show up. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going to show up. Anyway, it's called Ring the Alarm Bells, the 10 Rules of Trump's Authoritarian Playbook. On my social media sites, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and more, they're all linked on my website. But all those social medias, we are hitting all 10 of those areas that Jeff Merkley is claiming. And one of them in particular, rule number 4, to disregard due process. And here he complains about the fact that Kilmar, Abrego, or Garcia did not have due process. He forgets about the fact of those people that have been killed by people who have entered this country unlawfully. They did not get due process. A friend of ours, his son died of an accidental fentanyl overdose. He did not have due process. He died. And it is time that we have people who are going to stand up for our country first and fight for all of your rights. So I ask for your vote. I ask for financial donations. Jeff Merkley is sitting on over $5 million, and I need to raise over $1 million. And finally, I ask for your prayers. Thank you.